Hello everyone. Just a quick update on my situation. I don't really have much of an update on my dad. The progress is very slow, and so you'll understand why if my videos are kind of spotty. If my video posting is pretty spotty, you'll understand why. But today I wanted to talk about USCCB June 2021 meeting recap. And I wanted to do this for a while, but obviously this circumstances got in the way. But what I want to say about this is that the USCCB meeting, they have a lot of things that they cover, and I don't think that a lot of them are really that significant. They talked, of course, about immigration. That's their primary funding source, and the I guess the thing that everyone wanted to know about, the topic that was on the agenda that was by far the biggest topic was denying Biden communion. Now they presented this in the way of a document on the Eucharist, talking about the Eucharist, and a lot of bishops insisted, oh, this isn't about denying communion to certain people, but the media narrative, the mainstream media has run away with this narrative completely. And the bishops are now, I mean, this is it. Their hands are the media is forcing the hands of the bishops. And there's a few reasons for this. And I want to direct you back to my coverage of the USCCB meeting. Now, I don't want to say, oh, I have the best coverage of the USCCB meeting, but I did watch most of it. I don't want to say I watched all of it because I think it's probably about 10 hours of coverage maybe, so I was pretty burned out at the end of that week whenever the USCCB meeting ended, and then I had some things that weekend, and things just went very busy from there. So I didn't get a chance to give this recap video until now, but I think with, I think it was maybe around 2 to 4 hours of bishops giving different statements on whether they think that this document on the Eucharist should even be compiled, should even be drafted for the November USCCB meeting. And that resolution was opposed, of course, by the Biden bishops that I talked about in a previous video. I think the vote was somewhere around like 160 to 55, somewhere around there. And it was a 75% supported moving forward with this document on the Eucharist. And in advance, it was being hyped up as the document that would deny Biden communion. And a lot of bishops had a lot of different opinions, and obviously I want to point you back to my coverage of the USCCB. And you can tell, like, the corrupt bishops, like Stowe, McElroy, Supich, Tobin, they all let their voices be heard loud and clear. They don't want to deny communion to anyone for any reason except, well, maybe if they support an orange man. You know how that goes. But pretty much they say, oh, who am I to judge whenever it comes to Democrat politicians who oppose the Catholic faith, but then when it comes to pro-lifers, then they kind of have a little bit of a problem. So I see that, I kind of see that as a problem myself with these corrupt bishops. But I guess moving forward there, it shows that that vote was really significant. It shows that the corrupt bishops are in the significant minority. So, like 25% minority. And what this demonstrates to me is that Supich has, I've said this before, Cardinal Supich, Cardinal Tobin, the two most powerful cardinals, bishops in the United States, but they're losing their influence significantly. Bishops are tuning them out. They're not listening to their ideas. And there has been speculation that Supich would be promoted to Rome, and then Chicago, the Archbishop of Chicago position would be replaced by an equally as corrupt bishop like McElroy. That rumor has been swirling around for a long time, and it seems like a lot of the American bishops are tuning Supich out. But furthermore, some of the bishops are coming together, and whether or not they think this or not, whether or not they openly want to deny Biden communion or other pro-abortion politicians, they're coming together and saying we don't care because we're a little bit concerned that pro-life in this country has become such a such a problem. And even the support among pro-life even the pro-life support among Catholics has started to waver. And the bishops are really concerned about this because this is one of the fundamental aspects of our Catholic faith. And following up on this, there were a group of somewhere in the 60s, a number of Democrat federal politicians who call themselves Catholic who said we support abortion and don't deny us communion. There was even a politician from California. His name is, I think, Ted Lieu. He's from Los Angeles, and he publicly challenged Catholics to deny him communion. He said, I challenge you, I dare you to deny me communion, even though I support abortion, LMNOP, marriage, all this anti-Catholic stuff. And he just so happens to be in the Archdiocese of the president of the USCCB, Archbishop Gomez. And so what are you going to do, Archbishop Gomez? So my takeaway from this is that I don't think the bishops are going to make a strong statement on denying communion to pro-abortion politicians, even though I think that's necessary. I don't think that Archbishop Gomez is going to do a thing about this this public dissenter of the faith, because if he does, if he directs his priests, or even if he releases a statement that said pro-abortion politicians, especially in particular Ted Lieu in my archdiocese, should not present themselves for communion, I think that would be a strong enough statement. Because I don't even think you have to leave it up to the priests to deny communion to these dissenters. I think what you need to do is just tell them, don't present yourself for communion. You're not fit to receive communion until you repent of your public sin, and then leave it up to them, the individual, to not present themselves for communion, and so the lay people are going to put pressure on them not to receive communion. So I think that would even be sufficient. We haven't even seen that much of a statement yet from, I don't know, any of the bishops really. So hopefully they will in the future, but I don't expect them to. I just expect them to kind of move along, talk about how the Eucharist is a source and summit of the faith, which it is, and just move along with that document, not talk about who should or who shouldn't present themselves for communion. So one last thing I wanted to talk about was the speakers, what they actually had to say. And so there were some speakers. I think it was the bishop from Cheyenne, Wyoming, Bishop Beegler. He said that unity is the most important thing in the USCCB. Above all else, unity is the most important thing. And I said, well, that's not true at all. It's the salvation of souls. It should be, at least. Otherwise, the USCCB is useless. But here's the thing with unity, okay, is that unity would... I think unity would be a consensus of 75%, right? That would be mostly unity. Because if you're talking about unity with the minority of bishops who oppose the Catholic faith, that's not unity. That's just caving to the vocal minority. And so unity is such a ridiculous claim among these bishops. They say, "Oh, we need to get rid of divisions. We need to not talk about the difficult issues because it causes division." No, you're the one that's causing division by bringing up the topic. The Catholic Church is naturally divisive. It's separate from the world. So I think this false, this discussion of fake unity is ridiculous. I think these bishops should be embarrassed that they even suggested it, because it makes no sense. It's not practical. And I also want to point you to a video of Bishop Thomas Daly of Spokane, Washington. And he has some really strong stuff to say about pro-abortion politicians and McCarrick. and I would encourage you to watch that video. And so lastly, I want to thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your prayers. I ask that you continue to pray for myself, my dad, my family. It's going to be kind of a long road to recovery, if that's even possible. So thank you so much for watching. We are the laity, and we will not be silent.